Hey guys, it's Nye, and welcome to my world. How is your path to healing? If I were to say that this is a video that I wanted to do and I didn't feel a bit of angst about, that would be so not the case. This is a video I feel like it's necessary. This is a video I was actually prompted to do. And in this walk of healing and in this walk of learning to live authentically, I'm learning to obey and to listen to calls and certain things that are pulling me to do. I feel like this is something that a lot of us struggle with, and I feel like we tend to kind of rest on the discomfort of this as opposed to fighting through it to kind of get to the other side to see what there possibly could be. This is my attempt to do just that. For me, the fear of criticism has always been something that has held me back from a lot of things. Not so much the actual fear of someone telling me I'm doing something wrong. It's the fact that criticism was always associated with some sort of loss. Either someone said something and then they abandoned me, or someone felt some type of way and then they disconnected from me. It was never a conversation. It was never about understanding. It was always about how to blame something that I did to be the cause of something in their lives. So I tended to avoid criticism by any means necessary, whether that meant to not live authentically, whether that meant to think about everything that I was doing a million times and never actually do it because I never wanted to be in the spotlight. The fear of being seen is so real. But I'm here to tell you and tell me and tell all of us that the fear of criticism is actually what is holding you back from experiencing your true potential of happiness, of joy, and of full, complete healing. We have to put ourselves out there to be seen in order to feel like we are alive and in order to live. If we play things safe, we are never heeding the call to our true potential. For me, the words that have been circulating in my head when it came to this video is, my fear of critique is actually very disrespectful because it means that I am putting more importance on the opinion of men as opposed to the calling that God has put on me. I am ignoring his calling. I am ignoring my gifts. I'm ignoring my potential because I'm afraid of what someone else can say. Someone who is not greater than God or the Creator, right? So how disrespectful is it for me to abandon my path and my journey and my destiny because of what someone else will say? And most of the times, what they have to say is truly a reflection more of themselves than it ever is about you or me. It's really them projecting onto us how they feel about themselves. If they claim that something about us is bad, it's because they're mad that they don't have it. If they try to deter us from going after a dream or expressing a gift, it's because that maybe they in themselves don't have enough faith to go after their dream or to express their gifts. Over the past year and a half, I'd say, I've really learned to reconnect with my gifts. Some of my gifts I've prayed away. Some of my gifts I have just ignored. And what happened is that it never went away. It was just so suppressed. It was so ignored, but the calling of it would not let me rest at times, literally. It would keep me up at night. It would keep me from feeling settled and feeling grounded inside of myself because I was not walking authentically. I was performing. I was doing what needed to get done to get throughout the day, but I was not doing things that made me happy. I was not doing the things that came innately natural to me and expressing these gifts, these God-given gifts that I have. I was afraid of shining so bright and expressing my gifts that it would cause people to abandon me or to cause people to feel like, who do I think I am? Or that I think I'm better than them. But in reality, the purpose of me shining my gifts was to help other people illuminate themselves. Step into my light, you know? There's enough to go around. But the problem is people that are unhealed and people that have not met themselves, they will take your shining as a personal insult to them, as opposed to you obeying your calling. And for what I've learned over these years is that you gain nothing from ignoring your calling. You gain nothing from the fear of criticism, because you will never actually step into your potential and actually follow your path to live authentically, which is what makes us happy. It's what makes us whole. It is what completes us. But we so fight against the fear of it. We fight against someone having something to say about us. And I really had to ask myself, like, who cares? Who cares? To tie it into what I said before, I look at it as, imagine if you buy a gift for someone, something that you really care about, something that you really want this person to have, right? It's very important to you. It's something you know will make their lives better. It's something you know that they can benefit from, and you know it's something that they are going to magnify. You give it to them, and although they love it, although they appreciate it, although that they know that this is something that they need in their lives, they put it in the back of the closet because they are more fearful of someone outside seeing it and saying something and critiquing it and perhaps, passing judgment. But they don't take into consideration the effort that it took for you to give that to them, whether it was costly, whatever resources, the thought, and their benefit of that gift. They are more focused on what will someone else say. How hurtful would that be to you? And if you flip the other side, how silly would it be to that person to disregard something that you gave them of such value because they're fearful of mysterious people saying something? That's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what I've done for so long. I played things small. I played things safe because I felt that if I slid under the radar and remained there, I wouldn't be visible and I wouldn't trigger anyone. I wouldn't trigger any insecurities. I wouldn't trigger any abuse. I wouldn't trigger any judgment. I wouldn't trigger any critique. I wouldn't trigger being seen. But my friends, we need to step into the light. We need to be seen. I am now, trying out new things. I'm here trying this setup. As you see, I have a microphone. I am here trying to step into what is authentically natural to me. I am a communicator. I am a healer. I am a nurturer. I am a teacher. But for far too long, I hid my creative talents because I didn't want anyone else to be envious of not having them. Because what my life has taught me is that when someone feels that you are better than them, even if you don't display it or believe it, but if you trigger someone's insecurities, you're going to be left behind. And for a long time, I cared so much about being left behind that I left myself behind. But I am thankful and I'm grateful to say that those days are behind me, right? Even with this step, right, of releasing this video, of just putting this out there, of stepping out into a new just a path of direction when it specifically comes to my channel. Yeah, sometimes when you mention God, when you mention spirituality and things like that, you run the risk of a certain population dropping out. Sometimes when you talk about destiny, when you talk about faith, a lot of the things that I talk about will cause people to decide that this is not for them. And honestly, my previous objective was to retain as many people as possible around me. But I was always lonely. I was always misfitting. I never felt like I belonged. I never felt like in those spaces I could authentically be myself. I had to put on a mask and I had to play a role in order to be accepted. And those spaces left me drained. Those spaces left me used. Those spaces allowed the door for me to be abused. And for a long time, those are the spaces I felt that I deserved. And those were the only spaces I felt were out there. When I let go of the need to belong in those spaces, the people that need to be around me, the people that I need to be around, the spaces, the community, everything opened up once I started being me. And that would have never happened if I was still focused on not being critiqued. The fear of criticism is real, and I understand where you are, because more than likely, criticism for you, as it was for me, is associated with something negative. But what I've been trying to put into play is that when I criticize someone, it is not to tear them down. It is not to make them feel bad or deter them. My critique comes from a place of, I want you to grow. I want you to shine. I am just pointing out the areas where I see that you can improve, because I know it's in you. So I am now walking in that path of criticism and ignoring anyone that's trying to tear me down, because I take it as, I feel pity for those people, because it's a projection of how they feel about themselves. And we don't dwell there, right? We're ascending. We are looking for ascension. We're looking for high vibrations. We're looking for power. We're not looking for lack. We are looking for abundance. The mindsets that kept us so long from going after our dreams, we are leaving those behind. And unfortunately, and fortunately, it's going to bring some critique, especially from the people that knew you previously. That's mainly where it's going to come from, because they don't know who this person is. You barely know who this person is. I barely know who this person is. When you reconnect with yourself, the things that are not in alignment with you will fall apart. So, to sum it up, the purpose of this video, the purpose of me giving you this call to action, is to just do the thing. My setup is not perfect. I don't know if my lighting is perfect. I don't know if my audio is perfect. And honestly, I don't know if it ever will be. I'm not a techie. I am not a techie. I am not, like, this equipment is new to me. And I'm literally just trying it out to step into my path. And I faithfully believe that the people, the lessons, the information, the knowledge, everything will fall into my place, into my lap, as it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, when I'm ready for it. So my homework for you guys, my suggestion is for you to think about what areas you are afraid of being criticized about. And I want you to lean into those things, and I want you to push through them and complete the task. You know the task. I don't have to lay it out for you. You know the task. So, like, as an example, my fear is the fear of being seen. I could have done this audio only. I could have done this video with some AI generated loop. I could have done that. But since my fear of being seen is what I'm working on, I am going to put myself in front of the camera, and I'm going to put myself out there to be seen and to be criticized. And it's okay, because this is for me. This is for me, and this is for whoever else I can help to get on their path of healing. That is why I changed the name of this, because yes, it's my world, but my world is now centered on healing, because I see how being unhealed, I see how you operate, and I see how miserable life can be, and I see the situations you attract, and I see the patterns that you do when you're unhealed. So for me, my world has to be centered on healing. So if you are new here, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nai. I am glad that you decided to stop by. If you are not new here, welcome back, and I hope you continue to walk along me with this journey of healing. This channel has attracted you because we are in alignment in something, and I hope you stick around long enough for that to be revealed. So if you have not already, please consider subscribing. Please consider turning on your notifications. Please consider sharing this channel, sharing this information so that maybe you might know someone else that this can help. Maybe this video can inspire someone else. So this has to be a collective, this is a collective measure to spread healing. This is not something we keep to ourselves because ultimately we want the best for everyone. So I hope you gained from this, and I hope you come back next time. And until then, peace and blessings. Bye.